Hello everyone, my name is Xiao Chen. My presentation topic is the impact of the sea level rise on the transportation infrastructure in coastal area. As we all know, climate change has been projected to accelerate the historical rise in sea levels through warming of oceans and melting of ice. Coastal communities and infrastructures close to the shoreline are vulnerable to the effect of sea level rise. It may cause significant deterioration of the coastal road network. For example, it may induce flooding or the groundwater rise, so the transporting of people, freight, and services for coastal communities will be impacted. And this study mainly focused on the effect of sea level rise induced groundwater rise on coastal pavement. When the groundwater rises, the saturated area in the subgrade will expand correspondingly, and as a result, the modulus of subgrade soil may significantly decrease, which will lead to a decrease in the overall strength of pavement foundation and the degradation of pavement performance. This study applied a hydromechanical model to investigate the critical responses of pavement under different sea levels and analyze the impact of sea level rise on the pavement service life based on the existing performance models. As shown in Figure 1, the sea level keeps rising from the past century, and its speed of rise has accelerated in the past 10 years. Rutgers University recently estimated the sea level rise in the future for New Jersey, and it found that in 2030 and 2050, the sea level rise will be around 0.8 and 1.4 feet respectively. In 2100, if the emission is low at that time, the sea level rise might be 2.3 feet, while if the emission is high, it will be 3.4 feet. So based on the existing studies, 1 meter sea level rise would result in the mean groundwater rise by 6% to 81% of the sea level rise, which highly depends on the depositional environment. So in this study, 1 meter sea level rise was assumed to result in 0.6 meter in the groundwater. In the model development, this study selects typical pavement structure for local roads in the coastal areas. And based on the web soil survey data, 3 different subgrade profiles were used based on the real condition in Cape May, Cumberland, and Middlesex counties in New Jersey. And the current groundwater tables of these counties were collected on NOAA database. So finally, we have 3 different scenarios where the current groundwater tables are low, medium, and high. And Figure 3 shows the modulus variation at different depths. We can see that the modulus of the subgrade and the subbase has a nonlinear relationship with the distance from the point of interest to the groundwater table. As the sea level rose, the modulus of the subgrade decreased by over 50%, and the subbase modulus also decreased by over 30%, which means the sea level rise will lead to a significant decrease in the unbound material modulus of the pavement. And it is necessary to investigate if such a remarkable decrease will lead to a significant increase in the pavement critical response. Because the flexible pavement design activities are mostly carried out in response to the rutting, fatigue cracking, and thermal cracking. So the rutting and fatigue cracking are the primary structural distresses to be analyzed in this study. In order to represent the failure potential of the fatigue cracking and rutting, the horizontal tensile strain at the bottom of asphalt layer and the compressive strain at the top of subgrade was selected as critical responses of the pavement under traffic loading. So as we can see in Figure 5, in the low current groundwater table case, the tensile and the compressive strain did not show a big difference under different sea levels. It means the sea level did not lead to a remarkable impact on the fatigue cracking and rutting of the pavement. But in medium and high current groundwater table cases, because their current groundwater tables are closer to the ground surface. The pavement critical responses increase accordingly when the sea level rose. Based on the pavement critical responses, we estimated the reduction in the service life of the pavement based on the fatigue cracking and the rutting models. The result is shown in Figure 6. In the low current groundwater table case, the sea level rise did not show a remarkable impact on the reduction in pavement service life, but in medium current groundwater table case, the pavement service life decreased by about 30% in 2050 and over 80% in 2100 if the emission is high at that time. And in the high current groundwater table case, the decrease in the pavement service life was also about 75% in 2500. So overall, the sea level rise will greatly impact the pavement service life in coastal area. So the resilient design of the pavement is necessary in the future. And also, this study is still ongoing. The relationship between sea level rise and the groundwater rise will be further evaluated. That's pretty much of my presentation. Thank you for your watching and listening.